Hey, Larry here. Acts 29 today, coming to you from Sunny World headquarters in Chiang Mai, Thailand. I'd like to welcome all the viewers today from Thailand and around the world to this edition. So, we're going to get back to Beijing now and move on with the journey. We used some of the coupons that Bill gave us to fly free on that airline anywhere in the world that they went. And so we used some of those coupons to get from Portland, Oregon to Beijing, China. And there we were involved in what they called at that time track bombing. For reasons that you can probably figure out, they don't call it that anymore. They just call it tracking. And what we would do is we would dress up like ninjas, basically, and we would go out at night and we would go out at night and we would put, well, what do we got going on here? This is live YouTubing. We would go out at night and we would put tracks anywhere that we could find to put them. We'd put them in bicycle baskets. There were lots of bicycles there. We would put them in apartment mailboxes. We would put them on sleeping bodies. Put them on cars. Put them everywhere and anywhere. Okay, this is what I looked like when I was dressed up like a ninja, and underneath the coat I had, all kinds of pocket-secured tracks. I think I carried about 1,000 tracks. So that was the deal. We would go around and put all these tracks on everything, and so we spent a couple nights in Beijing practicing this stuff, and then the idea is you'd go out the next day and take a bus to the next city and throw tracks out the window of the bus, and on the way to the city that night you'd load up with tracks, go out, do your tracking, come back at 4 or 5 in the morning and go get a bus and get out of town before they found the tracks and traced it to some Westerners somewhere. So I remember one day we were in a bus and we were going between cities, and there's people alongside the road everywhere in China. There's just people everywhere. So we're just discreetly throwing tracks out the window in the back of the bus, and because we really don't want the driver to see, or he'll get all excited. So we went by a school and there was like hundreds and hundreds of kids out there, and when we went by we threw out a whole bundle that probably had like 1,000 tracks in it. And when it hit the ground, it just exploded like a bomb. And these tracks just went everywhere, just flew everywhere. And these kids were running and screaming and grabbing them. And the bus driver, he saw that. He didn't see us throw it, but he saw it out his side mirror, kind of when they went everywhere on the side of the road. So he stopped the bus and he came to the back and he was trying to see if we were doing something. Well, we had all the tracks hid underneath the seat in a bag, so he really couldn't find those. And, we just told him no speak of the English or no speak of the Chinese. And so he was upset, but he went back and took off again. So, it was that way. So after a few nights of training in Beijing, we headed up to the first city on a sleeper bus. These sleeper buses, not maybe what you think. They're pretty old buses, and they've got some seats up toward the front, and then in the back, they took all the seats out. And they've got these pads laying on the floor. Well, that's where you sleep. But the thing is, they stop alongside the road and pick up people here and there and everywhere. And so, you're kind of trying to sleep on the bus, but then people get on the bus and there's too many people for the back where people are sleeping. And so they just pile in beside you, on top of you, and there's just bodies everywhere. So we weren't able to throw any tracks out that night. We just had to, grin and bear it, so to speak. But that was a sleeper bus experience. So the next night, we left our hotel about 1 a.m., went out in the streets, apartment buildings, dark alleys, leaving behind the greatest news mankind will ever hear. We got back in the morning about 5 a.m., got packed up and went to the bus station to go to the next town before they started to discover the tracks and look for foreigners. On the way to the next town, we threw out hundreds of tracks also. We continued this operation for 3 weeks and 10 cities. We had some close calls of being caught, but never were. One night, we were just walking along, putting tracks wherever we could, and we got close to this building, and when I went around the side of the building where the windows were, I just kind of glanced inside before I walked past the windows, and it was full of police. It was a police station. So we went back the other way and kind of disappeared into the darkness. It was one of the most amazing, exhilarating, and fulfilling mission trips I've ever been on. And we certainly returned to America, changed people, as we knew there would be many salvations from the seeds that were planted. Over the years, this project sowed seeds of the gospel message to every major Chinese city in the country, and then every minor Chinese city in the country. And I suppose that there were hundreds of thousands who came to Christ through this ministry of tract distribution. Sometimes they would find someone with a tract and find out it had been passed around to many people and made its way all over the country because it was the only word of God they had when they fellowshiped together. It's amazing what can happen when the word of God is sown into the field of humanity. Every mission trip was another miracle of God for me. Watching the ever elusive plan of God unfold before me was so amazing to experience. No matter how hard the travel ever got, and sometimes it was very difficult, I never complained about it, as I would think of the truck or working outside in the cold rain doing construction. So my worst day of traveling was always better than my best day of truck driving or construction work. I know people think, oh wow, you are so lucky to be able to travel to all those countries, like flying off into the sunset, some kind of romantic thing. Well, let me tell you about the reality of international travel. First, there's planning, because I did all the planning for all the trips. So I had to find the best flights, the best price hotels, visas for the country we were traveling to, any vaccinations that might required, up-to-date passports, any other paperwork that might be needed. Then we had to pack our bags according to the weight limits, clothes for different weather conditions, and everything we would need on the trip. Just getting to the plane can be quite an adventure in itself. Checking in, weighing the bags, customs, passport control, and then the boarding process. Then comes the flight itself. And as I told many people, I wish that they could come along with us on a mission trip and see what it was really like. Most of the countries we went to were segments of 1 to 4 hour flights, then 8 to 12 hour flights. So take, for example, when I went from San Francisco to Sydney, Australia, a 15-plus hour non-stop flight. After about 8 to 12 hours, I felt like I was probably going to die. But oops, we got 4 or 5 more hours to go. Then, when you do finally get there, it's usually late at night, and then you have to get off the plane, go through passport control, get your baggage, go through customs, find transportation to the hotel, check in there, and by the time you can lay down, you've probably been up 25 to 30 hours. Welcome to international travel. To say nothing about delayed, canceled, or missed flights because they were full, overweight baggage issues, check-in issues, and a host of other things that can and will go wrong while traveling internationally. Oh, and there's another little thing that I forgot. It's called jet lag. That's because you travel through so many time zones that by the time you get to where you're going on the other side of the world, the time when they get up is the time that you normally go to bed. And so it takes, 4 or 5 days to get over this jet lag of not being able to sleep, and then their sleep is your day and your day is their sleep. And then when you go back home a few weeks later, after you just got used to their time zone, you go back home and it's another 6-7 days getting readjusted back to your own time zone. So these are just little things that happen. So I'm not complaining, but just trying to inform people who think that it's some kind of vacation experience doing mission trips. And I will admit, for some folks it really is, but it never was for us. We were always working, cold showers, long days and nights, living out the perfect will of God, for my life was like none other. Now, I must say, we were in so many different countries, and we were able to see some incredible sights, because when you're in some of these places, you get to see what's there. So, we got to see the Great Wall of China, St. Basil's Cathedral in Red Square, Russia, Victoria Falls in Zambia, Africa, the Dead Sea in Israel, Hotel Rwanda, the Opera House at Sydney, and, many others. This is just like frosting on the cake for doing mission work in different countries, but not the destination or reason for going. So the trip to China was a great learning experience, and we turned home again, completely changed by the power of God, seeing and experiencing firsthand how people live in other parts of the world. As far as China goes, we are blessed to have traveled to these places: Kunming, Shenzhen, Shanghai, Nanjing, Tianjin, Beijing, Harbin, and 9 other cities that I can't even remember the names of at this time. So I'll see you on the next video, and we'll talk more about exactly what happened on this trip.